The 6 worst and best breakfasts for diabetes. In this video, I'm going to talk about the most recommended foods, those that don't raise blood sugar levels too much, and also the foods you should avoid, the ones you'll need to be very careful with. Not to say that they're forbidden foods, that's not it, but they're the kind of foods you should pay more attention to because they can increase blood sugar levels more. I'm an endocrinologist specializing in diabetes and metabolism, and in this video I've changed the format a little. I'll describe a better food and then immediately contrast it with the worst to make the comparison clearer. You requested this format, so here we go. Number 1 on the list of the best, chia seeds and flaxseed. Number 1 on the list of the worst, oatmeal. Wait, but many people say that oatmeal is good for diabetes. Let's discuss this then. Why are chia seeds and flaxseed on the list of the best? Because they're low sugar fibers. When you add fibers to your diet, in some food for example, or even in yogurt or fruit, you lower the glycemic index of these foods because chia and flaxseed slow down absorption. So this is very good for those with diabetes. Metabolically, this is very interesting. And why did I include oatmeal here? Because a big part of oatmeal's composition is carbohydrates. And if you're diabetic, you have to monitor carbohydrate levels, the composition. When a food has too many carbohydrates, it can raise blood sugar levels more. So, for those with diabetes specifically, oatmeal isn't the best option. If you can choose chia or flaxseed, you'll make a healthier choice metabolically. Does this mean that oats are banned? I, for instance, eat oatmeal 2 or 3 times a week, but I'm not diabetic. I don't need to monitor my blood sugar levels or carbohydrate levels. That's the question. So, oats are a healthy food, but if you're diabetic and keeping an eye on your blood sugar levels, you need to pay attention to oats because they're high in carbohydrates. But does it have fiber? Yes. If you compare oats with other cereals, oats are better. So, it's not that it's the worst of them, but if you compare it to the best like chia, flaxseed, you're going to be making a better choice. Got it? Everyone says, but if I have diverticular, I can't eat seeds. I can't eat grains. That's a big myth, okay? Just because you have diverticular, it's not a reason for you not to consume these grains. On the contrary, if you consume chia, for example, in a proven way, you'll have a lower chance of having bowel cancer, a crisis, or acute diverticulitis. Oh, but what if I currently have acute diverticulitis? Then, indeed, you'll have to make a series of restrictions, okay? But just because of diverticular, it's not a contraindication. Next, number 2, fruits. On the list of the best, I'm going to mention avocado, apple, berries, which are fruits with a low glycemic index that won't raise your blood sugar levels as much. So they are excellent options for you to eat in the morning. Why is it so crucial to manage your blood sugar levels in the morning? Because naturally some hormones such as cortisol, glucagon, growth hormone, and adrenaline are higher in a physiological way, in a normal way in the morning. So it's very important that you take care of this first feeding. And on the other side here, on the list of the worst that you're going to pay more attention to, I'm going to put fruits with a higher glycemic index such as mangoes and bananas. But why bananas, for example? A lot of people say it's healthy. Again, the same issue with oats. Bananas have a higher concentration of carbohydrates. They have a higher glycemic index. It's the same case with grapes, another healthy food, but those who are diabetic should be careful. So on one side, grapes, bananas, mangoes. On the other, red fruits such as strawberries, cherries, avocados, apples, also very healthy. Number 3, on one side, eggs can be omelets as well. On the other, on the list of the worst, white bread, white flour. Because these foods, even if you don't add sugar in them, if you eat a slice of white bread, for example, your body will digest it as it's a simple carbohydrate and will turn that food into sugar. This is very important that you know. Because I've seen it many times when I talk to patients. Oh, but I'm not adding sugar. But if you're consuming white flour, for example, your body will turn that into sugar. And why are eggs on the list of the best? The egg is an excellent food and has already been absorbed. Many people say, oh, but eggs raise cholesterol. That's a myth. If you eat several eggs a day, of course it will raise your cholesterol. But here I'm talking 1-2 eggs a day. It's extremely healthy. And you don't necessarily have to remove the yolk, okay? The egg has a kind of good fat, which can even improve cholesterol levels, raise good cholesterol, HDL cholesterol. And in the white part, it's rich in protein. So it's a great choice because it won't raise your blood sugar levels. Do you recall me saying several eggs a day? Everything here, the key is moderation. If you take foods from this list here, which are healthy foods, and you overeat them. If you eat 3 kilograms of avocado, for example, it won't be interesting at all, okay? So here I'm comparing the same portion, okay? The same amount of food. So eggs. This could be an omelet as well, a healthy option. I'm talking here, either hard-boiled egg or fat-free omelet. And here the bread, I'm also going to put pancakes or other types, cakes, foods that have white flour. Number 4. Before number 4, I wanted to ask you if you're enjoying this video, this format. If so, give it a like. Let's aim for 10,000 likes, which will indicate to the algorithm that the video is relevant and help it spread to more people. And if it's helping you, it can also help other people. Number 4 on the list of the best, skim milk and low-fat yogurt. That's right, milk isn't bad for diabetics, but it has a type of sugar that will greatly increase blood sugar levels. Is this true or not? Yes, but in small quantities. If you drink a glass of 200 milliliters of milk, that won't be enough to send your diabetes out of control, right? So yes, milk is an option. And on the other side, here on the list of the worst, I'm going to put chocolate drinks and also whole juices, like grape juice, orange juice, because these foods here have a glycemic load. What is it? A very high concentration of carbohydrates and sugars. And they're simple sugars, which are going to greatly increase your blood glucose levels, your blood sugar levels. So this type of chocolate food and also juices, even if they are whole juices, you should avoid. But is fruit juice totally forbidden for people with diabetes? It depends on the fruit you are going to choose. If it's a lemon juice, for example, a passion fruit juice, it's a viable option. Now, grape juice and orange juice, the most frequent juices, you should avoid. Boxed juice too, you should avoid those because they have a very high concentration of sugar and can mess with your blood sugar levels, so be careful. Now, the milk, just like the egg, has already been absorbed unless you have lactose polyuresis, that you get sick from the milk. Then it's not an option, but generally it is indeed a very good food. Did you guys understand well about the juice part? If not, I'll make a video solely on that, but I believe it was clear, okay? Number 5 on the list of the best. I'm going to list shredded chicken here. It can be chicken pate and also fish or tuna pate, for example, are great options for you to have for breakfast because they are sources of protein. In this case, the fish also has good fats, but the chicken is also a great option because it's low in fats, also in carbohydrates and rich in protein. So an excellent option. And on the other side here, this one is also controversial because many people say it's a good food. It's bacon. If you have diabetes, you should avoid bacon. But I heard it was one of the best. That is a myth, folks, okay? Bacon is high in saturated fats, and despite it not immediately raising your blood sugar levels because it's low in carbs, it's a highly caloric food. If you compare bacon to chicken, for instance, you'll clearly see this difference because bacon is much fattier and contains saturated fat. This is bad for diabetics because if you have diabetes, it's not just the blood sugar levels you need to watch out for, but you also need to be mindful of your weight with high-calorie food. If you consume an excess of calories, you can gain weight, suffer a metabolic decline, worsen insulin resistance, thereby worsening diabetes control, and you also have to monitor your cholesterol levels. We know that diabetes is a cardiovascular risk factor, one of the biggest indeed, and if you eat a food that worsens this cholesterol issue, it's bad for those with diabetes. So bacon is not healthy, it's not among the best foods, and it's on the list of the worst. Oh, but if I eat a small cube of bacon, will it cause a lot of damage? No, of course not. Again, I mentioned about the quantity, but if you compare the same quantity, it's more worthwhile to you prefer tuna pate or shredded chicken. I really like to make shredded chicken for breakfast. I don't know if it's to your taste, but it's definitely an option. Number 6 on the list of the best chestnuts. And here I'm including cashews, even peanuts, if you don't have access to chestnuts, depending on the region you live in. The city, there's not much abundance of nuts, like Brazil nuts, for instance. But this type of food is excellent because it contains vitamins and minerals. Oh, are they high in calories? Yes, but you need to be careful again about the quantity, but they are an option. On the other side, I'm going to put tapioca, that's right. Tapioca is high in sugars, in carbohydrates, and if you're diabetic, you should avoid it. Or pancakes and wafers, or depending on the region, wafers. What do they call it in your area? If you take, for instance, a wafer and put something sweet on it. Put honey, for instance, on top of the composition that's high in carbohydrates. You'll have a severe surplus. Adding honey? Lots of people have the habit of eating pancakes with honey or wafers with honey. This, for those who are diabetic, is not healthy because it will significantly increase blood sugar levels. On a scale of 0 to 10, what score would you give to this video? If it's 10, I'll create more videos like this. Also, add this in the comments. Which part of the world are you watching this video from? Which city? I'm speaking from Porto Alegre. Now I'm going to leave a viewing suggestion for you. It's a video where I talk about coffee. Is coffee good or bad for your health? If you're diabetic, can you add some coffee to your milk, for example? Does it still count as one of the best foods? So watch this video where I'll tell you 13 facts about coffee and I'll explain it all there. I'm sure you'll enjoy it. Big hug.